Hello, Newman Warriors. This is Mr. Daniels.
And this is Miss Jones, and I would like to welcome all of you amazing warriors to our powwow today. Listen, we are so excited about this powwow because we're going to be talking about an amazing topic. This topic is perseverance.
I should have given a drum roll.
Perseverance, okay, guys? So I'm so excited about what we're going to be talking about. But before we get started, let me give you a definition on what perseverance is, okay? It is persistence in doing something despite difficulty or delay in achieving process. Perseverance is also steadiness, persistent in a particular action and a purpose, okay?
So
Mr. Daniels, will you take us a little bit deeper concerning perseverance?
Absolutely. So guys, all of y'all have a bright future ahead of you. Some of you want to be a pediatrician. Some of you want to be a senator. Some of you want to be a doctor. Some of you want to maybe work in a hospital. Some of you probably want to do professional sports. Whatever it is that you want to do, there are people that need you. There's going to be those children that's going to need you. There may be animals that need your help as a veterinarian.
Wow.
There's cities that will need you to be able to lead those cities. There's going to be maybe a nation that's going to need you to lead their nation. But I want you to understand this. Before you get to your future, before you get to those people who need you, there will be obstacles. There will be enemies that's going to stand in between you and your future, in between you and that person that you need to nurse back to health, in between you and that little girl that may need you to mentor them. There are going to be many obstacles, and Mrs. Jones is going to lead us and tell us a little bit about those obstacles that you may be facing in the near future. Maybe you've already faced some of these obstacles, but Dr. Jones, can you share with us some of those obstacles?
Absolutely. Listen, obstacles come in many different shapes and different forms. Let me tell you what obstacles are. They are things that block or prevent or even hinder our process. In your personal life, you may be experiencing different obstacles. Some obstacles may consist of challenges in your classes. Another obstacle may be challenges on a social level with conflicts with your friends. Some other obstacles that you may experience may be some challenges within your family. You may have lost a loved one, or there may be some tension going on between some family members. And so sometimes you may experience those events and they can be obstacles in your life. Mr. Daniels, can you think of any other obstacles that can come in our lives?
Yeah, I've seen in the past where students are struggling because of a divorce that just happened between their mom and dad. Maybe even an injury. They were playing sports and then they got themselves injured, and now the doctor told them that you won't be able to play for the rest of the year. And what happens is normally that when these obstacles come up, it begins to produce certain types of emotions.
Right.
And sometimes we get those emotions of anger. Sometimes we get those emotions of resentment, bitterness, unforgiveness. And actually, those emotions will actually pose as an enemy to you and to your future. And so I think those are a few obstacles that come up.
Absolutely. And so it's very important to have the trait of perseverance, because as obstacles come, if you have perseverance, you can make it to your goal. So what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about different tools that will be beneficial to you when you do experience different obstacles in your life. These tools are going to help you to persevere in your life. These tools are going to help you to get from point A to point B when obstacles come. These tools are going to help you to utilize the trait of perseverance. So I'm going to give you some tools. Mr. Daniel's going to give you some tools, and I hope some of these help you guys. So one tool that I want to give you guys that can help you when you do have obstacles in your life is to have a vision. It's to have a goal.
So good.
It is very important to have goals in your life, because when obstacles come, you have something that you can focus on. Let's just say that you're in a class and you want to get a particular grade in that certain class. And so when you have a quiz or a test or things that are challenging, you will persevere by asking questions to your teacher, asking other classmates that may know of that specific subject, so that you can persevere to accomplish that goal that you have. Do you have another tool for them?
Yes, I think one tool is having the right mindset. Your mindset is important because really you act off what you're thinking. So you have these thoughts and then you act off of those thoughts. So I think having the right mindset is very important. Where do we get our mindsets? Where do we get the thoughts that enter into our mind? It comes from books that you read.
Right.
It comes from music that you listen to. It comes from friends that you're hanging out with. It comes from movies that you watch. It comes from the environment that you've grown up in. And so I think it's very important that you pay careful attention to all of these little sources that I just read off to you. Because if any of these sources are giving you wrong thoughts, if any of these sources are giving you erroneous ways of thinking, then those thoughts are going to set you up for failure. And then when obstacles come, when those enemies come, if you have those poor thought patterns, then it's not going to help you to persevere. And so I think you need to find good books. You need to find good friends. You need to find good music that's going to give you good thoughts so that when those battles come, when those obstacles come, you have the right mindset to be able to persevere when those obstacles come your way.
Absolutely. Another tool that is beneficial for everyone, including us as adults, is having a support system. Whether that's a mentor, whether that's a counselor, whether that's a teacher, a principal, a coach, someone that you can partner with to help you get through hard times. You know, sometimes we feel like we're by ourselves, but I think the people around us that we can trust have the ability to encourage us to make sure that we persevere through the hard times. So another tool, another option that you have to utilize perseverance is a support system. So if you have someone in your life that you trust, a teacher, a coach, a mentor, a counselor that you can talk with to help you get through those hard times, I would encourage you to find someone that will help you in those hard times, who will help you push through those obstacles in your life.
That's so good. I think one more that I can think of is having or finding out your purpose. I'm going to share a quick story here. There was a young girl that I've talked to in the past, and she was actually suicidal. She had suicidal thoughts. And so I sat down with this young girl, and I began to speak to her about her purpose. Like, what do you want to do in life? Like, what is something that you could do that you would absolutely love, that you're extremely passionate about? And I told her to write this stuff down on a sheet of paper. She wrote it down on a sheet of paper. We talked about it. We discussed it. And you know what happened to her? When she found out her purpose, it gave life to her. And now all of a sudden she wanted to live. She didn't want to commit suicide anymore. All those thoughts left her because she realized, man, I have a purpose in life. And when you know that you have a purpose, then you're not going to let anything stop you, because you're going to fulfill that God-given purpose that was given to you. And so if you have not found your purpose, if you may say, hey, you know what? I don't know my purpose. I don't know what I'm here for. And normally when you don't know that, you're not motivated. You don't feel like doing anything. You don't feel like going to school. You don't feel like doing your work because you don't feel like you have a purpose. But when you find your purpose, it gives you motivation. It gives you focus. It gives you strength. It gives you stamina to keep pushing no matter what's coming your way. Yeah, I know this is going on in my life where my family's being torn apart. I know I may be struggling financially. I know I may be having health issues over here, but I have a purpose, and I'm going to make sure that I fulfill that purpose. And so I think having purpose is something that will help you to persevere when those obstacles come your way.
That is so good. That's so good. I want to give a quick illustration on our board here. Hopefully you guys can see it, and then we'll close if Mr. Daniels doesn't have anything else.
Awesome. Go ahead.
Of your story?
Illustrate us.
I'm going to do this very quickly. So I was little, about the age of 10, 12, and my dad gave me this example. And we're going to talk about perseverance. Okay, guys? Really quick. All right. So don't you guys talk about my drawing. All right? So
that's good.
I don't know if they can see that.
That's amazing.
All right, this is me. I'll draw a line there. All right, this represents where you start, okay? Now I'm going to draw where we want to end up. Let's just say this is a mountain. Don't talk about my mountain. That's a horrible mountain.
I think it's a great mountain.
All right, guys? So this is where we start, and this is where we want to end up, okay? Now, this gap right here literally represents our path of life, right? This line represents starting point. This line represents the ending point, okay? And so in life, in order to get from one place to the other, we must take one step at a time. However, before we get there, guess what happens? Anybody want to guess? Obstacles, okay? Obstacles. All right, so I'm going to outline this a little bit so you guys can kind of see. There we go. All right, so this represents me, this represents you, this represents us together, all right? This mountain represents where we're trying to go, all right? Now, this line here represents the path of life, okay? Now, we start here, but our end goal is here. However, as we take one step at a time, 1 year at a time, one grade at a time, things begin to happen in our lives called obstacles that will try to block you getting to the end, all right? So this may be having challenges at school. There may be another obstacle where your parents may split, another obstacle. You may have challenges with trying to get into a college, but at the end of the day, we're trying to get here. And so perseverance allows us to break through, boom, boom, every obstacle, boom, 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 to be able to get to our end goal. And so I want you guys to think about, what is it in my life right now that I need to utilize the trait of perseverance? Because we're here and we want to get here. And so my encouragement to you guys is to, when there are challenges in your life, to focus and utilize the tools that me and Mr. Daniels just discussed, so that you guys can make sure that you persevere and get to the goal that you want to get to.
That's so good. And I'm going to end with this little story here, or even like a testimony. So I think it was in 2000, Michigan State, they were playing, and there was a player by the name of Mateen Cleaves who was playing in the championship game.
Wow.
And I believe they were playing against Purdue. Don't quote me on that. But anyhow, they were getting towards the end of the game, and he ends up spraining his ankle. Like, he's probably their top player on the team. And he sprains his ankle. They had to pick him up and take him off to the sideline. But he said, you know what, just wrap it up. I want to keep playing. They're like, are you sure, man? Because you got a future ahead. He's like, no, I want to keep playing. And you know what? That's his mentality. He had a tough mentality. He didn't have a give up mentality because something bad happened. He was like, oh man, why me? He wasn't doing any of that. He had a focus. His goal was to win. Dr. Jones talked about having goals. He had a goal, and they wanted to win the championship. And so he said, let me get back out there. And he played out there. And guess what? He was dribbling the ball and running, but he was limping. But he kept on playing. You know what happened? They ended up winning that game. And it was a close game, but they ended up winning that game because he persevered. Yes, the injury came. He hurt his ankle, but he didn't give up. And guys, guess what? He's not better than you. He's not. You guys have that same tenacity on the inside of you. It is on the inside of you, and you need to tap into that tenacity. You need to tap into that focus that you have on the inside of you to persevere.
Awesome.
You know, we have COVID-19 that's going on, and it's changed a lot of stuff, but we're not going to let that stop us because we're Newman warriors. We don't let those things stop us. We're going to get stronger from this, right?
That's right.
So I'm excited for you guys. We're excited for the future that that you guys are going to go into, because you're going to change lives and you're going to change this nation for the better.
That's right. So Newman Warriors, you guys persevere. We thank you guys for the opportunity, for giving us some time for us to share this topic with you today. We look forward to seeing you continue to grow and grow and grow and get better in life. And so until next time, have a good day.
Yep.